Hello there gang, and welcome to another episode of Past Blast with me, DD DeVere, and we should be playing a little bit of Warzone 2100, a real-time strategy game released in 1999 by Pumpkin Studios, published by Eidos, and it was available on the on the PlayStation 1, I should say, and the PC. So what do we get option-wise? Well, it's a bit limited by today's standards, but game options, this is where you also pick your campaign difficulty, normal, hard or easy. You get a very few graphics options, some video options, again very limited. You've got a few minor audio options, not enough to get along with. Mouse options, something you don't see a lot of these days, but never really messed around with them, so at least they're there. And finally, of course, your key mappings. As is to be expected, all fully rebindable, and lots of them. So of course, a lot of RTS players pretty much play with keyboard shortcuts only. So let's see what we get content-wise. Well, there's multiplayer. Let's see if there's anyone playing at the moment. No, there's not at the moment. I have seen people playing, so it's still slightly active. And finally, a single player. Oh, and there's also a small mini tutorial. But if you watch this video, you won't need that. So we get some challenges, only 3 of them, but they're there. You also get a skirmish game, and finally a campaign, which is broken into 3 subsections. Obviously, the first time you play, so just start with Alpha. So let's dive on in there.
Alpha, you are cleared for takeoff. Check. Good luck and good hunting.
Approaching landing zone. Team Alpha, your briefing commences. Commander, you lead Team Alpha, one of 3 expeditionary teams sent out by the project to recover artifacts from before the collapse. Your destination lies in the Western Zone. Commander, you are to establish a base in this sector. Once the base is established, begin your search for a pre-collapse structure located in this sector. This building is believed to contain advanced neural synapse technology that is vital to the success of the project. Power resource.
So in traditional RTS style, we don't have a lot to get started with. These are our combat units. If you double click on one, you'll select all unit types are the same. Control and 1 to make them into a group. Control 2.
Group 1 reporting. Group 2 reporting.
So that's our power resources. Oil wells, and we need to build an oil rig to get things started.
Briefing commences. Scavenger raiders are approaching our base. Defend the base, then destroy the scavenger camps. Mission timer activated.
So let's get these chaps close here to defend.
Construction completed.
Now we need to build things. You select your constructors, select your build menu.
Unit under attack.
Just sort this little problem out first. Right, back to where we were doing. And let's build ourselves the power generator. Obviously, again, early game, so we don't have a lot of things to build. That will change as we go along. So it's been set. The game is set after a nuclear war. We're trying to help rebuild society, and we need to find artifacts to research to improve our weapons and such. Now, obviously, the graphics are kind of showing their age a bit. Very blocky, low poly, low res, and not terrible. Of course, you can panel your camera around and look everywhere around. So let's get a... Now, this is one of the first areas this game set itself apart from a lot of other RTSs at the time, is your resource management. In most other games, you had a finite amount per map, and once they were out, they were gone. That restricted what you could build in each map. Here, as long as you've got an oil well and a power generator, As you see, they're now connected, and that oil rig is making like I do at birthdays and Christmases, and it's pumping. So our resources will constantly go up. There's no limit on them. It will just keep going up and up. Let's get building again. So what do we want next? We shall have a factory. Yeah, that should do nicely. We can't build anything just yet. We need to put a command centre first, which will be our next item. Nearly there.
Construction completed.
So let's just chuck that up there for the time being. We want to kind of keep this area a bit clear. This is your landing zone. That was another way this game set itself apart from a lot of other games at the time. Is this is your main base map, and it will open up as you play through the campaigns. But there's also away missions, which is when you get given a transport and you have to load it up
Construction completed.
and go to a different sector to achieve different goals. Let's get, now we've got that running, and we've got some power. So again, we can only build a couple of units, so we'll just get those running. If I to go that way, let's move the delivery point to there. While that's ongoing, let's build another factory to speed things up. I'll just stick it there for the time being. But yes, the other thing this game brought to the table is, of course, the fact when you're building, you're not limited to where and when you build. A lot of other RTSs at the time, you'd have a very limited area where you could build in, or you had to build in very set specific orders. None of that here. You could build anything, anywhere. Once it's researched and you've got it. I'm talking research, that's to find a better build. It's a research facility. I'll just chuck it there. Move that delivery point up there. Get a few units and we can go on the attack.
Completed.
As I was explaining about the away missions, sometimes when you're on the away missions you can call in reinforcements which are from your base. Other times you have to just make do with what you've taken with you. This game gives a lot of varied content. I mean, there's a lot of missions. There's got to be at least 25 to 30 missions in the campaign in total. They're quite changing as you go through the game. So that's all the main things built.
Production completed.
And now the best bit of news is that this game is now available completely free. Back in 2004, Pumpkin Studios was closed, and what they did is they released all the source code under the GNU public license, and a group of talented and clever coders has come along, picked up the ball and started running with it, and it's now back here today it works on not only Windows, I'm playing it on Windows 10, but it also works on Linux and also Mac OS, and I believe Amiga OS as well. So they've done a very good job at getting this concurrent for such an old classic game. So we need to go up here. But content wise, there are a lot of good missions, great voice acting, good music, nice soundtrack, very varied. So the real question is, why does it seem to have been forgotten compared to other games at the time? I mean, Command and Conquer, they got loads of series, the games. You had Dune 2, lots of people still remember that fondly, and that's still considered a real great classic. Let's make them all Group 1, let's get ourselves started. Now we've got a few reinforcements coming in. What I'll do, I'll move these control... Oh, I didn't deselect it.
Production completed. Unit under attack.
Yeah, if you right click on the unit, there's your control panel for your vehicles.
Completed.
Now you do only have a more limited set of options, unlike some later RTS games. As you can set formation types. There's nothing like that here. You can't even really set the facing either of it. I mean, normally you just be able to right click. You can't do that here. Let's get these extra vehicles to come and join these chaps. Hello.
Production
There we
completed.
go. So let's get our... That's what I was going to... no, it's not deselecting at the moment. Now they're all over the control points I like to select.
Production completed.
By and large, the interface is nice and smooth, but sometimes it gets a little bit awkward like that.
Group 2 reporting. Group 1 reporting.
Right, come on then, let's go.
Production completed.
First base should be just in here.
Unit under attack. Scavenger outpost detected. Unit under attack. Artifact.
And there's our first artifact.
Unit under attack. Production completed. Artifact.
Let's get that.
Outpost eradicated. Power resource.
I can't build on that
Production
just yet
completed.
Group 2 reporting.
because it's still on fire. And as you see, our research indicator is now flashing. And what have we got? Hardened MG bullets. So that'll give us a little bit more punch when the research is complete. And that was the next big thing with the research and the design of this game. You could build quite a lot of different unit types. You could get some quite good designs going. We'll look at the design very shortly,
Production completed. Unit under attack.
so as you know what I'm talking about. Let's just get these guys rolling up here. Keep the assault going, keep the pressure on.
Scavenger base detected. Unit under attack. Unit under attack. Major research completed. Unit under attack. Artifact detected. Artifact detected. Power research. Unit under
So
attack.
now we've got Flamer,
Scavenger base eradicated.
a new
Scavenger
weapon
base
type.
detected.
Group 2 reporting.
Let's get these oil wells built. Yeah, I just say it's just very bizarre as to why. I mean, it was released at the time, it got critical acclaim. And those people bought it. Seemed to be loved by everyone. He was expecting a part 2, a Warzone 2200 or something. And nothing. And then over the passing of time, it seems to have been pretty much forgotten. Which is a great shame, because this is a really good game. Lots of missions, say with the away missions and the base missions, expanding map.
Major research completed.
And obviously it gets a bit more challenging as you go along.
Attack.
Now we've got the new research. Let's just deal with this problem. So let's get some more research going. AP armor piercing bullets basically. So with the research completed, if we look at this,
Weapon research completed.
new weapon turret available. Flamethrower firing propylene oxide gel. Best targets are bunkers, wheeled and hover vehicles. Body points very low.
Group 2 reporting.
Let's get that built. So now we can go to the design screen. And then we have the new design. So of course, again, beginning of the game, we only have the Viper body type. We only have wheels as our propulsion. But turrets, we can now have a flamer or a machine gun. So let's make the flamer one. And we see that will cost 85 units of power to make. And it gives us 170 hit points when it's done. We also get systems turrets, which we'll get more of those later on as well. So let's go out here. Now this is one of the first issues with the game. Weapon types. Now there is a lot of things to research and find in this game.
Construction completed.
But a great many of them you will find utterly useless. There are some that are just so much more useful than the others. The flamer is one of the useless ones. You'll try it once and you'll never touch it again. Some were definitely more better than others. And another issue here, again not a game breaking one, but is the pathfinding. Now by and large, if I send them to attack a target, they'll be pretty good at getting there. The problem comes when you try to get them to cross through each other. If I move these guys up here, yeah, they have a lot of problems. Now he's stuck there, and now they're stuck there. Might not seem a lot, but when you've got a hectic big battle going on, with lots of enemies and things jamming up together, you will lose a few units.
Group 2 reporting.
But other than that, that's the main issues really.
Group 1 reporting.
It's been mostly excellent performance in all honesty. For the age of the game. I've had one crash,
Major research.
and I had one mission bug out on me which forced to restart, which is annoying.
Scavenger base eradicated.
Because one of the things you'll notice is time limits there. Some of the later missions have can take quite a long time to complete. And when the one bugged out, and that was about a 2-hour mission, because of how long things take to research and how long things take to manufacture and construct. Oh, well, I've got our first defensive structure. Yeah, it can be a bit annoying having these time limits, because you'd like to sit there and build up a really good base or exchange of vehicles. Let's say on the right click there, if we look at the recycle, so that chap there now, he has experience 9.7, is trained. Each unit gains experience as it goes along, so you can recycle them and build them back into more powerful vehicles and keep the experience. But the time limits make that a bit frustrating in some ways. And the other thing, maybe this is just my memory going fuzzy, but I could have sworn if you played the campaign on easy, there was no time limits apart from some away missions which were timed. But when I checked it earlier on, just for doing a recording, yeah, the time limits are still on the easy one. Yeah, that could be my memory. So it's just a question of why was this so forgotten? It's such a great shame it is. 25 to 30 campaign missions, loads of varied types, lots of things to build, construct, and let's just deal with these. Great soundtrack, good voice acting is excellent throughout, loads of great videos in between and developing along the story. Good story. Just seems to have been sadly forgotten. But yeah, if I want to build a machine gun turret just here, yeah, there's no restrictions, just build it. I mean, at the moment the resources are a little bit low, but by the time you get to, honestly, by the time you get to mission 2 or 3, you can start building, and you can build a lot of stuff in this game. I mean, unit-wise, I've had loads of vehicles flying around, of gun turrets and all sorts of defensive structures, factories, and other constructs. I don't think I've ever run into a unit cap. There must be one, but it's very generous. Same buildings and actual vehicles. So it's a shame. This seems to have been a bit of a forgotten gem, really. But the great news is it is free. So as I mentioned earlier on, I will put the links in the description. So you just go down there, download the game, install it, download the videos, drop them into the folder, and you get cracking. And have a really good little classic RTS gem on your hands with quite a few hours worth of gameplay content. So anyway, again, we'll conclude our dealings here. This was Warzone 2100. I hope you found the video useful and entertaining in some way. And as ever, thank you very much for taking the time out to watch it. And as ever, do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, let me know you're alive. And I shall see you all next time. Bye now.